everybody, and welcome back to the Madison C. Iowa channel. On June 5th, which is Friday, it is National Cheese Month, or I'm sorry, National Cheese Day. And so since I know how to make cheese, I thought I'd show you the quickest, easiest cheese to make, farmer's cheese. So what I have here is 1 gallon of milk. I'm going to bring it to temperature. Then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of vinegar. Drain the curds from the whey and add some salt basically. So stay tuned. While my milk is coming up to temperature, I just thought I'd talk to you a little bit about Friday. This, of course, is posting on Thursday because the first Friday of June is another National Food Celebrating Day that just happens to fall on National Cheese Day, which is the 5th of June. And I have a video coming out for Friday as well. I just wanted to kind of promote how easy it is to make cheese on National Cheese Day or the day before National Cheese Day, in case maybe you want to try it. It's really simple. This is the best beginner's cheese recipe, is the farmer's cheese. One thing about farmer's cheese is it does not melt. Just so that you know. Depending on how much whey I drain from it, I can have a cheese that is similar, not exact, but similar to cream cheese that I like to use on bagels or pickle roll-ups, my favorite. And if I let the cheese hang and let more of the whey come out of the cheese, it gets to be hard and I can slice it or I can crumble it on salads. So I just thought it would be fun to bring you along, and we'll be back when it is time to add the vinegar. Something else I just wanted to touch on, because I don't think I mentioned it. When making cheese, most of us can't get our hands on raw milk. So pasteurized milk is fine. Just never use ultra pasteurized because it won't work. And the next thing I wanted to mention is when making cheese or farmer's cheese and you use vinegar, you can use white vinegar or apple cider vinegar. I know some people even use lemon juice. I have only used white vinegar, but I am planning on experimenting with other vinegars. Another thing I wanted to mention, and since I'm, single, it's really hard for me to use a small amount of milk, even like a quart of milk. So what I do is, if I'm baking something that needs milk, I will get milk, and then when it gets to the expiration date and I still haven't used any more of it, I just stick the whole thing in the freezer. And then after I get several of them, I thaw them out and I make cheese. Now, I probably wouldn't use a whole mixture of different, milks like cream, half and half, whole milk, buttermilk, to make like a Parmesan. I wouldn't do that. But for farmer's cheese, anything that you have left over or partial container of a milk product in your freezer, if you freeze milk like I do, will work. And the different milks give different flavors, and honestly I couldn't tell you which is my favorite. Buttermilk makes it taste so good, so does using cream. There's just subtle differences. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Now, this is the easiest way to make farmer's cheese. I'm not using a thermometer, although you can. I use my thermometer when I make other cheeses. But I want to show you like just the plain old simple way on how to tell when it's ready to add the vinegar. And so we're just waiting for the milk to come to temperature, and then we'll be back. Okay, I don't know how well you can see this, but this is close to boiling. It's at a very, kind of a very medium simmer. You can kind of see the wisps of smoke coming from the edge. There's little strong bubbles forming along the edge as well, and that's what you're looking for. Just about ready to boil, but it's not going to boil. You don't want it to boil. You want the strong bubbles coming along the edge here, just like that. So I don't know why it kind of in the camera looks a little brown over there. It might be a shadow. I didn't burn the milk, just so that you know. So I'm gonna set my camera up again, and I'm going to add the vinegar. Okay, so in goes a 1/4 cup of vinegar. I'm going to eyeball it. This is a very forgiving cheese, so a tad bit more or a tad bit less is not going to hurt. And we're going to start stirring that in. And you can already see, oh, it looks like we're steaming up on the camera. We are starting to make cheese. I'm just going to turn the fire off now and let it sit. Okay, we have sat for a few minutes, and can you see that? The curd is separating away from the whey. Beautiful. Look at all that. Absolutely lovely. We're going to let it sit for a little bit longer. And then I'm going to strain it with a cheesecloth in a strainer, and I'm going to save the whey. The whey is a very useful thing to have. It makes excellent bread. It makes excellent mashed potatoes. It is, I put it in my smoothies or my vitamin drinks. It's, I also feed it to my stray cats. If you have pigs, I know people will feed that to their pigs, but there's so many useful things to use the whey for. I keep mine. Now, once I strain this, the curd from the whey, I could turn around and use the whey to make ricotta cheese. I'm not going to do that this time, but I have done it, and it turns out awesome. I actually would prefer to use 2 gallons to make a cheese, and then use the leftover whey to make ricotta, and then I get a little bit more. This is just the 1 gallon version. But there are many things to use whey for. And I'm going to find out if it's possible to can the whey, because I know people can milk, and I think it would be a good thing to have on hand. You know, it has some nutrition in it, and why throw it away if you can keep it and use it for something else? You know, at a time when water could be a shortage. So, anyway, I'm going to let this sit for a minute and get that cooled off a little, and when I get ready to strain it, we'll be back. Okay, so what I have here is just a metal colander, and I put cheesecloth over it and put it in a bigger pan and tuck the cheesecloth in, and then I'm going to pour this in there. I'll be back. Okay, I just poured the curds and whey all into the cheesecloth so it could drain. See how much thicker it's getting? Beautiful. Now I know we used vinegar. Let me tell you that the cheese, nor the whey is going to have any vinegar flavor whatsoever. It's really quite good if you use it in different things. I'm talking about the whey. The cheese has absolutely no flavor right now whatsoever. None. It tastes like nothing, if you can believe that. Once this drains a little bit more, or however you want it, whatever consistency you want it, that's the time to take it out and put it in a bowl. Now what you can do also is bring up the sides of the cheesecloth and hang it if you wish. I've hung it from a cupboard doorknob, and I've also used chopsticks across a deep bowl and just hung it that way. Or if you like the more cream cheese consistency, you're not going to want to drain that much whey off before you add the salt. So, yeah, that's getting pretty hard. Isn't that beautiful? It really has no taste whatsoever. When you're done draining it, just put it in a bowl and stir in a little sea salt to taste. You can use sea salt, cheese salt. They say don't use regular table salt. The first time I made this, I didn't have any sea salt. Table salt was all I had, and I used it and it worked fine. You know, this is not something that you're going to keep around or store for a couple years like Parmesan. You know, this you're going to eat up rather quick. So we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to pick this up by the spoonful and put it in my bowl here. Kind of looks like cottage cheese, doesn't it? We're getting ready to salt it. And you can see I got quite a bit of cheese out of there from just that 1 gallon of milk. I'm still getting just the last little bit out of the cheesecloth. Normally I just dump it in there, but I'm making a video and I want to be as neat as possible, if you understand. Okay, well, we may have missed part of this because my tripod started falling over, so I'm sorry. I don't know how much of it I'm going to be able to keep. But what you see here is my cheese in a bowl. My cheese curds. And I'm just... I don't know what that was. Just going to use my sea salt. Any kind will do. Now, I'm not a huge salty person, so you put in as much salt as you want. You're going to kind of have to taste it. Usually they say 2 teaspoons, but that's kind of too much for me. But we're going to sprinkle a little in. And then just start mixing it around. And we're going to have to taste it a couple times to see if that's going to be what we want. And I can kind of already tell that I'm going to need a little more. So once I get it to taste the way I want, we'll bring you back. Okay. I have gotten all the salt that I wanted to put in there. I have mixed it up, stirred it up, and I have just kind of pressed it all down in here. Let me give you a little show on. It's kind of right in the middle between creamy and breakable. That way I can use it both ways. I can slice this and put it on a sandwich. I can crumble some up in a oops, the lid sealed on me, wasn't supposed to do that. I can crumble it up on a salad. Oh, it did it again. I'm trying to show you how nice it looks molded. So let's see if I can, well, there we go. See how nice it holds its shape? Now this is still very warm, but it's gonna cool, it's gonna get a little harder. I'm gonna kind of show you. So you can slice up. Oops. Take a little slice off. Or you can just use this as, instead of cream cheese. Yummy. And put like a, like a spicy something on here and use it as a cracker dip instead of cream cheese. That's good too. I'm losing my train of thought because the cheese is so good. Now I'm wondering why I waited so long to make this, because I just love this. It's really good. Has a lot of flavor. You made it in your own kitchen. There is nothing like homemade cheese ever. Even if it's just simple farmer's cheese. You can put a bunch of different herbs in this and make another type of cracker dip. A cheese ball type dish for the table. Oh. Anyway, there's 101 things that you can use homemade farmer's cheese for. It all just depends on how much you let it dry, how much you salt it, and what you want to use it for. Creamy or crumbly or something in the middle like this. Everybody take care. I hope tomorrow, on Friday, you fix something cheesy because it's National Cheese Day. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.